Hello, I'm Robert Phipps, author of Body Language. It's what you don't say that matters. Another area I'm asked about all the time, it's up there with lying. It's equal to it. People want to know when other people find them attractive or how to flirt themselves. Flirting starts with eye contact. You can't find something attractive unless you've looked at it first. Let's assume you've just walked into a bar or a restaurant and you see somebody that you like sat at the bar. If it's a woman sat at the bar and she gives you good eye contact, quite often what she will do is she will look down first before looking back at her friends and engaging with the conversation. Men will quite often just look at what they like, engage for a little bit longer than normal, and then move the head straight back to their friends. So look at the eye contact. It lasts just a fraction of a second longer than normal eye contact. If you were just scanning the bar looking for somebody, you'd just make fleeting eye contact. But when you're interested in somebody, you want to see a little bit more of them. So your pupils will expand to allow in more light so you can see more of the thing that you like. Once you've made eye contact and you think that things are okay and you're getting reciprocal signals, then you've got to get within the proximity of that person to engage in conversation. It's all right finding each other attractive, but until you engage in conversation, you don't know whether that attraction is going to go any further. So you've got to get close to the person. Now, how do you do that? Well, you can simply walk straight up to the bar or straight up to them and start talking to them. Or you can just test it by staying at a distance and keep looking over for the eye signals. If you keep getting them, then it's worth approaching. If it was just a one-off and she's now looking at somebody else, then maybe not. Assuming that you've got close enough together to actually start talking to each other, then there's a whole new set of signals that go off. Women will quite often play with their hair or flick it back. Also, they'll play with their earlobes, exposing the front of the wrists. It's not so good if they're playing with their earlobes and the wrist is turned the other way. Also, what you'll see from the men is lots of chest puffing. So give them the bigger chest so as they look bigger. They'll also stand with their hands on their hips so as they look more athletic. This is a typical athletic readiness pose. You'll see any athlete stood on the starting line with their hands like this, getting ready. Ultimately, you want to get closer and closer together. But it's a game. 1 minute you'll get close, next minute you'll get further apart. Depends on what's being said, what's being done. When people are offended by something or they don't like what's just been said, they'll move their head back and bring their chin down to protect their throat. On the other side of it, if they're happy and interested in you, they'll move forward and lean into you. This is when touch comes into play, and quite often as they lean in, they will touch your wrist, your forearm, or even up on the shoulder. If they're really being intimate, they might stroke the side of your face or flick a piece of hair. All these signals are little tests as to how close you can get together, what the other person will allow. If you watch the signals and there's no barriers, you can get closer and closer. If the barriers start to come up, barriers can be anything from crossed arms right in front of you. You can say something wrong and immediately somebody will react. So look for the signals that say you're getting closer and closer, or those where you have to suddenly step back a bit before you can get that little bit closer again. For more tips, tricks and techniques about body language, read my book. Body Language is what you don't say that matters.